topic of discussion and current events. I'm going to throw the slot pass to our host, Selena Dixon. Nice little 15-yard slot pass. You was filling me in on Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. So let's get a little context to Baker Mayfield before we give our takes.
Well, this week we learned that Baker has been traded to the Panthers. And I'm just thinking about, will this re-energize, rebrand his legacy, so to speak? I know a lot of people.
He has a legacy.
Yeah, I think a lot of people sleep on him and think he's a scrub, but I just think the system that he was in and didn't work for him.
So he's a system quarterback.
I think he's a system quarterback.
I dig it. So
I think a new start, somewhere fresh, somewhere new, will help re-energize him.
One thing that I saw before I pass it to you guys, watching a lot of sports podcasts, talk shows, I want to say Shannon Sharp had a strong take. He wasn't trying to hear it. Mm-hmm. He was pretty much saying, "You're not that guy, pal. You are not that guy." And basically alluding to him being traded, even though the ownership for the Cleveland Browns knew that Deshaun Watson was coming in with a ton of baggage. Some may even say he might not play this year. He might not play a year and a half. We don't know what the ramifications are going to be to his case. But they still let him go knowing Deshaun Watson is coming in, which was that's a whole topic of a discussion. So you said system quarterback. For your opinion, what do you think is going to happen to Baker Mayfield in this new system?
I think he's going to succeed. But I think as long as he has the team, like in other words, like basically he, because Bobby Anderson, I came out and said he ain't really want him there, but that was because of his loyalty to Darnold. So I think he'll do better. I mean, the Panthers, they got an owner, as much as I'm really not a Panthers supporter, period. They got an owner that's all in. So it don't really, he not going, he's all in. He's going to give Matt Rule the best possibility of winning. If you remember, they basically plays in musical chairs. And I'm pretty sure that them bringing in Baker Mayfield, this is Matt Rule's last chance. If this does not work, whether he picks Darnold over Mayfield or Mayfield over Darnold, whatever you want to say, he's going to be out that door. So it has to work, or it has to show some success this season. Because after all, you let Teddy Bridgewater walk out the door. I mean, he was an upgrade from whatever 5, 4, and 11 or whatever they was the year before. You let him walk out the door, and then you brought Darnold in, and that ain't work out. And then you kept switching musical chairs that season, so now you bring in Baker. So I think this will work. I think this will be successful in some type of way. I just don't know the limit of success it will be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, Miss Dixon, what would you like to see from Baker Mayfield this year to, I guess, get the, I don't want to say monkey off his back, but what would you like to see Baker Mayfield improve in so that people can say, hey, it's working out?
I would like to see him work on his leadership on and off the field. I think on the field, sometimes he makes good decisions, sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he can rally his players to work with him, but I really feel like he needs to work on his leadership.
Now, educate me. How old is he again?
How old is he? I don't remember.
Is he under 25?
Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, he has to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so some people will say, oh, that comes with the territory. You're young, you're rich, you're in the NFL. He'll grow up. Do you think some of the off the court stuff, off the field stuff, is contributing to his downslide in the NFL? Because they'll say that to any other players, any other minority players. Oh, he parties too much. Or what did they say about the young kid that passed away? Rest in peace to Deshaun Haskins. Like they alluded to a lot of the
Dwayne Haskins.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Please forgive me, Dwayne Haskins. Rest in peace. To his off the. They kept saying immaturity. I'm like, wasn't the kid like under 25? Like you're not giving him enough time to grow. So I kind of think that's the same thing with Baker Mayfield. I think if given a chance, as you said, in the right system, he can improve and show those qualities. Where do you think, let me say this, what type of rope would you give, if you're the coach, what type of rope would you give him this season?
What kind of rope would I give him?
Yeah, as far as to pass or fail? Because some people were saying like he should be in the Canadian Football League. Like I hate to be harsh, but what type of rope do you think he's in? Do you think this is his last shot at redemption?
I do believe it is his last shot at redemption. But I feel like this system, him going into this system, like I said, having a brand new start, I feel like it will help re-energize him. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do.
We was having some at one of our meetings before the podcast where you was breaking something down with Patrick Mahomes, and you alluded to his loss of weapons. Do you think Baker Mayfield has enough weapons for him to be successful? Because a quarterback's only as good as his weapons. Mm-hmm. Does he have any? You know, I'm a Steelers fan, so I'm not too big on the Panthers. But does
I'm
he
not
have?
too big on the Panthers.
Does he have enough weapons? You think to be successful?
What? Who? Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
I think he hasn't. No.
See,
not better than what he had. You got to think about it. Let
better than what he had.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
better
you.
than what he
Yeah.
had.
There you go. Yeah. You got to think about it. And sorry to cut you off. He came from having Odell Beckham,
okay,
Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb. Everything okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Jarvis Landry, Nick Chubb. Oh my God, what is it? Kareem, because he's on my fantasy. I forgot the other running back. There you go. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Kareem Hunt. You had all those weapons, and you had a defense. So I don't think that in Carolina, because they got McCaffrey, but he's not stable. He's a third down back. They need to stop trying to put him as every down back. He's like a third down back. You can put him in the third quarter, or you can put him in the fourth quarter to end the game, but you can't keep just putting him in all four quarters. He's injury prone. So if they have a running game, if I was Carolina, because you always do this to me, if I was Carolina, for Baker Mayfield to succeed, I would get him a running game. I would stack with running backs. I would get offensive line, because he seemed to work fine in play action pass. Where he got in trouble, and let's be honest of why he's out of Cleveland, because he played with a separated shoulder. He thought showing him playing through pain and injury would show the commitment that he was giving to the team, and it backfired. That's what it was. So if Carolina wants to make him succeed, they'll copy of somewhat of a blueprint of what Cleveland did to help him succeed. Go ahead.
So you started off by saying you think it's a better situation for him. Mm-hmm. Hearing what Zarda said, what would you do to improve his chances of succeeding? He alluded to the running game. Do you think he needs a running game, or how do you think if you were in a position to say, hey, we're in the off season, I'm about to build around this kid to make him successful, what would you do?
Kind of piggyback what he just said. He definitely needs a running game to help him along. Yeah.
And I don't. You made a good point. Playing through pain. How's that work out for any player, not just the NFL but NBA? Like Isaiah Thomas, I'm a Celtic fan. Oh, he played through the infamous hip injury. Mm-hmm. When it's time to back up that Brinks truck, they threw him away.
This is trash. Yeah.
So I urge you, young players. I understand, especially for the NFL, because it's unguaranteed contracts, but save yourself for the longevity of the game. Before we transition to another segment, given what he has right now, what do you think how many wins do you think Baker Mayfield accumulates this season?
8.
Wild card team?
Maybe. Possibility.
That's that's the ceiling. Yeah, let's put it that way. That's the ceiling.
That's an interesting take.
Mm-hmm. That's the ceiling.
Okay, before we get off this, now we still got a couple more minutes after this.
Yeah.
Now, if somehow Baker Mayfield leads him to a wild card, does this put any type of dent in Cam Newton's legacy?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Some people might say, "Oh, hey."
You want me to respond to that?
You good?
Cam Newton, first of all, he went into the last year. He played, and he's another one that, just like Baker Mayfield, he played injured 1 year, and it just didn't work out. He clearly was not himself. And then he lost his job in Carolina. And then, Carolina moved on from him. I'm sorry. They released him. He went up to New England to bridge the gap between Tom Brady and whoever they was going to find a new quarterback for. They used him for that. And then when he left there, he came back to Carolina in the middle of the season, and they was like, based off of that, we could tell that Cam's not who he used to be. Well, he came in the middle of the season. He ain't come in no training camp, man. He didn't come in there with like the team behind him. He came in the middle of the season. So what did you expect to see? So it's the same thing now. No team wants to pick him up. And then I can't think of 32 teams right now, well, 32 of them, but there's not 32 other quarterbacks that's better than Cam Newton. But, for somehow, not to be goofy, but Nathan Peterman, who's, what I'm talking about, he seems to have a job and he can't play at all. Somehow Cam Newton ain't got no job. So, I mean, the Jets would probably be a 3 wins better than with Cam Newton than they would with the kid that they're with now. So to say all that, I don't think Cam Newton's over the hill. I think he just, if you're going to get with him, get behind him 100%. I can assure you the Texans are not going to do that great with the kid they got playing quarterback, but somehow they don't think Cam Newton's a better option. Just put that out there. Go ahead, though.